the rainbow? Almost.
Hey, how did your sister fare?
She did really well. Well, she had to leave Florida, actually.
Right.
She had to leave because it actually went right by her. She lives in Naples,
Right.
by Fort Myers.
That was ground zero right there.
Yeah.
Fort Myers.
So she had to leave.
She lives on Fort Myers?
Mhm.
That's really cool.
Yes. So she lives actually like 10 miles away in a city called Ave Maria. So she had to leave. She has season tickets, so she just left to Dallas and watched the Cowboys. And then came back. But her house was fine, but that area right there, a lot of people didn't have electricity. So a lot of them were staying there. She ended up with electricity. She never lost electricity apparently. But thank you for asking. That's right. Last time that's when the hurricane was about to hit. So how many more sessions do y'all have?
3.
Really? And then you're done? That's awesome. Let me drop my gum. I was eating in the car. That's the problem.
Síguele comiendo.
Okay. Well, you have this one and 2 more, and then you're done.
Friday and tomorrow.
This one and Friday and 2 more. So you have this one and 3 more. Great. Okay, well, welcome to Introduction to Learning Centers. And many times people are like, well, isn't Learning Centers a lot for just younger kids? And I hope through what you've read, and also you had to do the module on Learning Centers, I hope that some of that helped you understand that really Learning Centers can be used in all areas of teaching. In every classroom, it can be used from pre-kinder, 3-year-olds, all the way up to college even. Even A-STEP is which we're going to be doing today. We're actually going to be working in centers today. And many times when we work with, well, the purpose for learning centers is so you can review what's been taught already. One of the main things, and I'm sure you, when we went through the pre-work, you all saw this, you should never teach something new at a learning center. It should mainly be for enrichment and reinforcement. Those are the critical things. So before we get started, we have to go over our pre-work. Hello, Laredo, how are you? So we will start with a pre-work assignment number 1. It was a PowerPoint, managing student centers in the classroom. Number 1, learning centers can be used on the first day of school. True or false? False. Why is that false?
Because you just said it. Teach them. You just said it.
You haven't taught them the procedures. You have to teach them how to use them. You can't just go and say, go ahead and use them. Many times teachers will stop using learning centers because they didn't teach them how to use them appropriately, correctly. So there's a lot of chaos in the classroom. So the teachers will say, oh, it didn't work. Forget it. I'm not going to use it. Number 2, state 2 reasons behavior problems arise in the learning centers. What do you all have?
Too many new centers at once.
Too many new centers at once? What was another reason?
The lesson wasn't taught appropriately.
I'm sorry?
The lesson wasn't taught.
The lesson was not taught appropriately. Remember, it's a reinforcement or an enrichment. So if you didn't teach the concept well, when they go out to the learning center, they're not going to do it right. There's going to be chaos, there's going to be confusion. That's where misbehavior starts. Number 3, true or false? Transition techniques must be consistent. True. As with anything in teaching, the more consistent you are, the more successful you will be. Children like consistency. They don't like fly by the seat of your pants kind of teaching. They like to know that the teacher's prepared, that the teacher's going to be consistent, whether it's in behavior or whether it's in their teaching. What is more important in the learning center, the process or the product, and why? The process. The process is a lot more important. Why is that?
The process leads to the ability to create a product.
Exactly. They don't understand the process. They won't able to do the product correctly. They might come up with a product, it might be completely wrong. That means that they didn't understand the process. So the process is always more important. Okay, assignment number 2. It was the article 4 Keys to Effective Classroom Learning Centers. Number 1, true or false? When students are in small groups, it is considered working in learning centers. False. Just because they're in small groups does not mean it's a learning center. You might be doing small group work. Number 2, true or false? Learning centers have to have clarity and purpose. True. If there is no purpose to it, if you don't give any guidance to it, it's just a place where they go sit and work. Number 3, true or false? Learning centers can be in mixed ability or leveled groups. True. That is a wonderful thing about learning centers. You can mix it all up, or you can have ability groups. It can be in both. Number 4, what are the 4 keys to effective learning centers? What?
Create, communicate, and practice procedures.
Create, communicate, and practice procedures. I don't have the article in front of me. What's the other one?
Group with intention.
Group with intention.
Provide
Provide
meaningful
meaningful
tasks.
tasks.
Provide meaningful tasks.
Assess the impact.
Assess the impact. And number 5, why must teachers monitor students at learning centers?
Check for understanding.
Checking for understanding. Excellent. So assignment number 3. Do you have the online questions? The 5 online questions?
I think so.
If I click on it, will it come up?
Oh, not there. They will probably be in the pad in a separate. I think in a separate or more document.
Figuring out what activity did you go through 77? Not the video. Figure out what activity it's like. I mean, we can. Did you reset? No. That's the way it's no one in the world.
Did you all find those 5 questions?
Yes.
Where were they? Where were
They
they?
were just up on the assignment. It wasn't on.
They're probably going to be on.
I think they were in there.
Ah, okay. Number 4. Assignment number 4. Launching learning centers in the middle grades. What are the 2 benefits of incorporating learning centers in the middle school classroom? Middle school people? What are the 2 benefits?
Meets the academic needs of the individual students.
I'm sorry?
It meets the academic needs of individual students.
Meets the academic needs of individual students. What else?
Appeals to social nature.
Appeals to their social nature. Middle school kids love each other. They want to be with each other. The more you do with them as groups, the more they're working together, the more they're going to be apt to listen to what's going on. Number 2, while at the Learning Center, students may work independently with a small group or in pairs. True or false? True. It can be an individual one, it can be 2 or 3 people. You never want to make it more than 4. Students do not need guidance on how to work at a learning center. False. You need to give them instructions on how to work at a learning center. Exit slips are an excellent source of accountability when using learning centers. True. Learning centers must be done daily in order for them to be successful. Yes, false. As long as they know the procedure, but you don't have to do them every day. You don't have to do them every day. Sometimes you don't have time to do them every day. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Another online assessment. And let's go to assignment number 6. Here you had to develop a road map. Does anybody have any questions on how to develop the road? Did you all have any difficulties on how to develop the road map? Does anybody want to share what they developed? Does anybody remember what they developed?
I thought it was pretty interesting, that assignment, because I'm gonna be in middle school science, okay? And so what I had set up was the roadmap. You know, they were gonna be looking at a plant cell in a microscope, and then an animal cell, like the cheek cell, and then in the third station, because those are the 2 stations, and then the third station, they're gonna come back
The
to
third
the
center.
test. Yes, the third center, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
And they're gonna collaborate with one another to see, you know, what differences they might have seen between the 2. And yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome.
Did anybody have any middle school experience? Any middle school roadmaps they want to share what they did? Anybody want to share? Go ahead.
I did one on nets.
Nets?
Nets.
Nets.
No, nets. 3D figures, pyramids.
Oh,
squares.
okay. I was like nets.
Yeah, math.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Long day.
And one was to read a handout. The other one's just look at video examples on the computer
Okay.
and compare them to real life structures. And the other one's create the 3D figure.
Oh, so really you did a whole hands-on experience. It's from it's very multi-sensory what you did. Excellent. Very good. Who else wants to share their middle school roadmap?
I was a little bit.
Anybody?
Mine was English.
Go ahead.
So I did 3 different ones. One was the word study activity.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again? I'm sorry.
Word study activity, like they'll have a journal, and then they'll like every day.
A word study activity for
Yeah.
English?
And then Scope and Action magazine, so they'll get to like pick out, magazines and entertainment, so they can find like different words there or poetry or anything like that. And then, or Scholastic magazine, those are for the kids. And then the last one would be like a poetry center, and they kind of analyze poetry and break it down.
And do you think the kids would enjoy that more than you talking up here about it?
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
Right?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
think they would be engaged? I won't say more engaged because they have to be engaged to begin with. Do you think they would be engaged doing the learning centers versus you just up here talking to them? Like right now, I'm talking to you, but if I have you engaged at learning centers, you're more apt to be more in tune to what's going on. That's one of the main things about learning centers. That's the wonderful thing about learning centers. So it can be done in middle schools. And that's one of the main concerns at high school. Oh, what are we going to do? We only have this much time. One of the biggest concerns about teachers is there's never enough time to teach everything.
Like 10 years ago, they weren't even doing that, so I know it's worse now. So.
Yes, exactly. It's the time is less and less and less. Learning centers, after you have introduced something, you put it out there. You have it out there in the learning center. When it's time, when they finish, because they'll finish their work. Okay, you finish this work. By the end of the week, you have to have gone through all 5 learning centers. And they keep an exit slip. But they're constantly reviewing skills that they learned already. So it stays fresh in their mind. Because if you don't learn about it, if you're not talking about it, you're going to forget it. Right? Every time I do this session, I have to go back. Okay, let me go back because if I'm not thinking learning centers, that's out of my mind. So we have to keep it fresh in their minds, especially those testing areas, those concepts that they need to learn, those skills that they need to learn, having them review it at a learning center. Once you have done it, once they have shown mastery, then that's when you can go and it can be reinforced. That's also another way to differentiate instruction for those students that are at that high level, that need more reinforcement, or they just need that enrichment. That's where you can do it as well. Teachers are, I don't have time. I have to do this with these kids. I don't have time to go take them to that higher level. Learning centers is a great way to take them to that higher level. I think learning centers are wonderful. There is a drawback to learning centers that it is very time consuming for the teacher up front. Planning the center, getting the materials ready, teaching them the procedure, it takes time. It takes time, it takes patience. But once they get it, you are the facilitator.
So in the classroom, how long is the learning center supposed to be for?
So it really depends on you. You can do y'all remember how long, hi Shell, do you remember how long they can be in a be lectured to after they start dozing off? Do you remember the magic minutes? 15 minutes. If you have a class of 45 minutes, after 20 minutes, yeah, they're not listening to you, right? You do your 15-minute lecture, okay, now it's time for independent practice or guided practice. You might have some kids that you might need to work one-to-one. You might have those students, you know what, you need to go to the learning centers today. This is what you're going to be doing. I'm going to have these 3 centers open. You have to work in those. Each one has maybe 4 kids. You have a group over here, so you can differentiate the instructions. So really, after 15, 20 minutes, you can send them to the centers because they're not listening to you after that. Okay. Any other things that y'all want to share with the roadmap? Does Laredo want to share anything about the roadmap? If you do, you can send it to one. Does anybody else want to share any of their experiences? I think the roadmap is awesome. I think, you know, it really puts everything into perspective. But like I said, it is time consuming for the teacher. That's the only hard
Could
part.
it be all day?
Yes.
Because I remember in kinder, when I was in kinder, it would be
Yes.
like 4 or 5 tables, and then you would go from one table to the, depending on the time it was, until you met with the teacher.
You can do centers all day. You can do where they're rotating and you have small group instruction. Imagine you have 20, 30 kids in a class. Let's say you have 30 kids in a class. You have 5 centers. You give each one about, you have what, 45 minutes? 45 minutes per class? How much is it in middle school? I don't remember anymore. 45?
It's an hour.
Okay, so then let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes per class, per group. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So you have 5 centers. 5, 10, 15, 20. You can have 6 kids in a center. It's a little bit much, but. So you have those 5 centers, plus 1 with the teacher. Every 10 minutes, you have them move. They do something quick. They have an exit ticket. Okay, in this center, this is what I did. And they have to do a product. Or whatever they have to do. Depends on what it might be on the computer doing a Quizlet. It may be having to do a puzzle. It may be something more that they have to do a brochure, or they have to do a writing response. It can be anything. You can just rotate them. Today we're doing centers. I'm going to be meeting with small groups at a time of 5 or 6 for 10 minutes. You do your quick lesson. You don't have to do it for a 30-minute lesson. You can do in 10 minutes. Do it quick, be concise. Then they go off. Then you get the next group. Then you get the next group, but everybody else is working.
But the
before
limit
that,
would be like 10 minutes? It wouldn't be a little bit more?
you can do 15, remember.
Okay.
But it really depends on the concept. If you're going to do 15 minutes, then you have to see, okay, how many centers do I have? Maybe you want some to be working at the center, some to be working independently. But it's really up to you and your needs and the needs of your children. I can say this worked for me. It may not work for you. You may need to have the kids maybe 3 groups only, and maybe you need them for 20 minutes each. 20, 40, 60, that's an hour. So it really depends, and it might change also.
Right.
You change it based on your needs. But the whole point here is, it'll give them more hands-on activities. They will be engaged even longer, because as you realized when, what's her name? What was the name of our teacher last time? What's her name? Miss Coker. There were so many interruptions that really there was not a lot of engaged time going on, right? Interruptions from students, interruptions from the office. So at the end of the class period, there really wasn't that much engagement. So having these centers will keep them engaged. But it's really up to you however you do it. But like I said, for fair warning, it does take a while to set them up. But once you have them, whenever you teach that lesson, you can bring out those centers the following year and you have them ready. Right? And maybe you might have to tweak them a little bit, but for the most part, they're ready. Okay. Questions on the assignments? Did Laredo want to share anything on roadmap? No? Okay. Are you there, Laredo? All right. So then, any questions on the pre-work? None? No? Okay. Let's move on to, what do we do now? Assessment? Keep me honest here. Okay. How do we do the PPR before we do the essay? I'm just curious. I would think it'd be at the end of the class, right? All right, here we go. Question number 1. Cynthia is a struggling reader in Ms. Lindsay's second grade classroom. Ms. Lindsay can best adapt instruction by A, using lower level text for reading instruction, B, using smaller groups, increasing time for instruction and practice, and scaffolding instruction, C, doing follow-up worksheets to reinforce new skills, or D, engaging the student in computer-assisted readings. B. Using smaller groups, increasing time for instruction and practice, and scaffolding instruction. Smaller group learning centers. But remember, you have them, remember what I said earlier? You can have them in a smaller group while they're all at the centers, right? Okay, let's go on to the next one. The 5th grade instructional mathematics team has decided to make one of its members responsible for planning new lessons in their content area. Kelly Griffin is a new teacher in the grade team and is excited to be part of this effort. While planning the math lesson, what would be the best idea for Ms. Griffin to keep in mind? A, how she can best serve as a good team member. B, having students apply their learning on written independent practice to determine a clear assessment of their progress. C, to include hands-on activities. Or D, have group talks and work on one problem until they all feel comfortable with solving it and before tackling another problem. C, include hands-on activities. That's pretty easy, right? Pretty easy. Ms. Edison is constantly aware of the effects of motivation on student performance. She wants to use the principles of motivation to enhance learning for her high school students. Ms. Edison wants to further investigate components of motivation to increase the level of her students. She knows how difficult it is to keep older students interested in learning. How can Ms. Edison increase the interest level of her high school students? Who does high school here? Yeah. Don't you have to keep them motivated constantly? A, use curriculum supplements for instruction. B, require independent reading outside the class. C, use student-centered materials and projects for instruction. Or D, require students to take notes in the form of outlines. Letter C. Number 4. Ms. Wyrick is a 3rd grade teacher who wants to provide excuse me, a variety of student-centered learning activities for her students. At the conclusion of classroom activities, Ms. Wyrick takes time to reflect on the engagement level of her students. Which of the following characteristics should Ms. Wyrick encourage? A, we want students to be passive listeners. Lectures are sequential and activities involve reading. B, students are passive listeners. Lectures are presented at a slow pace and activities involve writing. C, students are quiet listeners. Lectures are routine and activities require worksheets. Or D, students are active listeners. Lectures are interactive and activities involve sensory stimulation. D. They're pretty easy, right? They're pretty, they stand out right away. In a classroom of students at the beginning and intermediate levels of English proficiency, key words there, in listening and speaking, which of the following activities would the teacher implement to reinforce new concepts? A, the teacher should provide hands-on materials to practice a new concept. B, the teacher should provide opportunities for students to color and label new concepts. C, the student should provide opportunity for students to research new concepts. Or D, the teacher should provide opportunities for students to write facts about concepts in a group. What would the answer be? A. Hands-on materials. Remember, they are beginning and intermediate levels of English proficiency. Excellent. Was that the last question? Awesome. Okay. Now, we are going to do an activity. I have 6. Let me see. Hold on. Let me check. Okay. 1, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 divided by 6 is 5. I need groups. 10, 25. Okay. 1, 2, 3. We are going to set up like if we were in a classroom. But we're going to set up 2 different classrooms. We're going to have 15 on one end and 15 on the other side. You're going to be doing the exact thing, but the groups, remember, the groups should be between 4 and 5 kids. 5 is still, you're pushing it. Usually 3 to 4 is a good number because the more kids you have, then what starts happening if you have too many people in a table.
What did you do this weekend?
Yeah, what was the big plan this weekend? There's a lot of chit-chatting, a lot of sidebars. That's what I call them, sidebars. You know what I mean by sidebars, right? You lawyer people? Sidebars. A lot of sidebars happen. So, usually we want to keep learning centers between 3 and 4 kids. With the older kids, maybe 4 to 5. What we're going to do today is we're going to be in groups of 5. So what I need for you to do is, doesn't matter how you do it, but like from here to here, we're going to need a group of 5, 5, and 5. And then from here and here, 5, 5, and 5. I'm letting you make your own groups. I'm not gonna.
The last pick in school.
Groups of 5.
Sorry guys, I'm thinking.
We don't need your enthusiasm.
Groups of 5. I need 2 people over here. I need 1 person from here to move over here. No, you're fine. Groups of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Groups of 5. Don't be shy. Groups of 5.
At the beginning. I swear I was like, and I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, it's a different person. Oh, the way he's dressed up. You watched
One of the main things when setting up centers is center rules. You need to have rules for your learning center. So I'm going to give you the rules for your center. Okay. Question, rule number 1, this table. What is rule number 1? Use whisper voices. What's rule number 1? Roll loud, right? Rule number 1 is, guys, can I have your attention? Thank you. Rule number 1, use quiet voices. Because there's a lot of stuff going on. So if everybody is talking very loud, then we can hear everybody's conversation. And if you have ADHD like I do, it'll be very hard. Rule number 2.
Cooperate with others at your center.
What?
Cooperate with
I can't
others.
hear. I'm deaf, I'm blind, I'm everything. What?
Cooperate with others at your center.
Cooperate with others at your center. Rule number 3.
Do your job at your center.
Do your job at your center. Is there a typo?
It says do you.
It says do you.
Do your job. Ah. Number 4.
Leave your campsite cleaner than how you
Grammar nonsense.
Number 4. What? Campsite?
Grammar nonsense.
Leave your center the way you found it. No sidebars? Sidebars?
None here.
Never heard me when I said.
Do your job at your center.
That's not what she said.
Number 4 was keep your area clean. Keep your center clean. We're going to have people rotating into that area. So make sure your area is clean. And number 5. Rule number 5 is?
Before me. Ask 3 before me.
Have you all ever heard that?
Never heard of that.
Before you ask the teacher, ask 3 other people. Ask 3 before me. And that encourages cooperation and talking among each other on the lesson, not on the weekend. 3 before me. Okay. The second part of having a learning center is you need to have a schedule. Now the ones that I have are a little bit elementary-ish, but that's okay. High school kids like elementary-ish too. You need to show them how they're going to go from center to center. You need to have a routine for that. The way I'm choosing to do it is all of you will have a rotation schedule. Your group, you will be the blue group, you are the red group, and you are the yellow group. You are the blue group, you are the red group, and you are the yellow group. On the second rotation, yellow group, where will you be, yellow group?
Technology.
Technology Center. On the first rotation, blue group, where will you be? What? What? Puzzle Center. On the third rotation, red group, where will you be?
Art Center.
Art Center. Okay. Now, I might have forgotten once. One of the main things when you're doing learning centers is to always be prepared. Okay? First thing. And do you all have magazines? One? So I am not prepared because I didn't bring my magazines. Okay, I thought I had like a whole bunch here last time, but it's all good. We improvise, and that's all we need to do. So, we don't have any, you don't have any at all?
We can use our magazines on our phones.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like,
We have to use technology.
okay.
Newspaper, you need a newspaper now.
Oh, I can't believe I forgot. I had to go home because I forgot one thing. I forgot the newspaper. Okay.
The newspaper?
Do they have newspapers
No,
here?
online on your phone.
Well, no, you
need
do
to
it.
cut stuff.
Let me explain what we're going to do. Okay. The third thing you need to do is you need to have what is called a task card. A task card gives the students the procedures on how to use that center. Okay? Now, each one will, in the back is the activity, but don't worry about that right now. I'm going to pass them out and I'll let you read them. Puzzle Center, Technology Center, Art Center, Puzzle Center, Technology Center, and Art Center. Okay. If I can have your attention. Art Center. Who's starting Art Center? Over here?
no, we're
No,
technology.
Never mind, technology.
Can you read the procedures for Art Center? Listen.
The directions?
Yes.
Step 1, highlight important points in the article. Step 2, create a collage that summarizes the article. And step 3, record your progress on the Student Learning Center record-keeping log.
Yeah. Okay, so step 1, you're going to, the article is in the back. Turn it to the back. The article is right there. This is the same article that you read during your pre-work. So what I'm giving you, guys, what I'm giving you is not anything new. I'm reinforcing what you already read. Y'all get that? I did that on purpose. I'm not giving you anything new. It's something you already read. So in the first one, the article is in the back. You're going to look at the article as a group. And then what's step number 2? You already read everything?
Create a collage that summarizes the article.
You're going to get a piece of paper. And we can actually then draw pictures, just pictures, that symbolize what the article means. So if you were to have to explain the article, you could explain it with those pictures that you have drawn. Okay? And then?
Record your progress on the Student Learning Center record-keeping log.
And that one I'll give it to you in a bit. You're just going to write down what you did. And that is your exit ticket. Okay? That is the Art Center. Now let's go on to the Technology Center. Who's technology?
We are.
Okay, go ahead. Over here.
Go to Quizlet.com. You don't need to set up an account.
You do not need to set up an account. You go to Quizlet. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer.
Search Sonia B. Science.
Search Sonia B. Science.
Click on Learning Centers.
Click on Learning Centers.
Go through flashcards, learn, speller, scatter icons. Then take test. Then record your progress on the Student Learning Center record keeping log.
So here in the back is the article to what you're going to see on Quizlet. How many of you have seen Quizlet? Okay, if you've never seen Quizlet, you're going to love it today. You're going to learn a lot. Everything that's on Quizlet is what came out of this article. So once again, reinforcing what you already read. If you're doing social studies, you could put a test on, you could put all the facts on social studies from the chapter that you just read. You do a quiz on there, you put it on Quizlet, and it comes up with different things for you to practice so they can learn the content. Okay? You see how I'm reinforcing what was already taught? Good. And then the last one is the Puzzle Center. Puzzle Center, who do we have? Go ahead.
The activity?
Yes.
At this center, your group/partner will match the words with correct definition or examples of the meaning of the words found in the article, Launching Learning Centers in the Middle Grades.
Now, if you turn it around, the PowerPoint is there. However, in this one, do not take out the PowerPoint yet until you match everything. And then, after if you feel you have done it correctly, then take out the PowerPoint and you can check yourself. Okay, but do not take out the PowerPoint yet. Do not use the PowerPoint to figure it out. This is when collaboration starts working. You need to work collaboratively in order to get this done. In the collage, you need to work collaboratively to see who's going to draw what. Quizlet, that's where you can work independently. And in the puzzle one, yay! Sal is our savior here.
I'm just going to put my...
Like, you had brought a lot of them. Awesome. Way to go, Sal! And I'll give half and half. Half magazines over here and half over here. I'll get out, we can get the tape or whatever over there. Okay. So here are the puzzles. Okay. Who's got, it's Puzzle Center here?
Right here.
Don't open it yet. And where else? Go. Okay. remember when you, please put them back, don't like totally tear them apart.
We'll take the Mac.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we choose to work cooperatively with the technology one if we
Yes, you
all
may.
have
Yes, you
access
may.
to-
Good question. The question was, can you work cooperatively in the technology one? Yes, you can. Now, the magazines are there, papers back there. When we are done, your exit ticket is your collage in this one. Then I'll give you your exit tickets for those to the recording sheet. I think the glue, the tape, everything else is back there. Any questions on any of the centers? Hold on. It is 6:41. Listen carefully. Listen, I know y'all are excited, ready to work. I know y'all are ready to work. You're going to have 15 minutes per center. So that means at 7 o'clock, I will ask you to switch to another center. I will be walking around. I want to hear those words because the second part of our session, you with your 5 people are going to have to come up with a video of 2 minutes, and you're going to have to persuade your administrator as to why you should use learning centers in the classroom, and you have to use 5 points from what you have learned today. Got that? At least 5 points. 5 different points that you have to emphasize when you do your 2-minute video with the same group after we have done all the centers. Okay? So, yes, ma'am.
Are we gonna physically move?
Yes. You will physically move. You will go. Here is your blue group, red group, yellow group. Yellow group, when you're done and you do your second group, where are you going?
Okay.
Look at your rotation.
Technology.
Right now you're doing, okay, technology? Yes? What color? Yellow? Technology? So you'll come over here.
We're going over there. It's just like sliding over.
You're sliding over. You're moving. So keep your area clean. What other question?
Can you ask him to turn on the Wi-Fi?
Oh, yes.
They can.
Juan, they're going to need the Wi-Fi for Quizlet.
The definitions we just take.
Thank you.
All right, 6:43. At 7 o'clock, I will tell you to move. And then at 7:15, I will have you move again. At 7:15, we will take a break, right? 7:15. We will be back at 7:30. And you will do from 7:30 to 7:45 your last rotation. We will regroup, discuss it. 8 o'clock to 8:30, you will have time to do your video because you have to write it out, think about it. 8:30 to 9, the video, you will email it to Juan. And then at 8:30, we're going to open up Juan's email and we're going to see the 6 different videos. And that should end our night. Fun, fun, fun! Are y'all excited? Yes.
No, you're not.
Good question. The question was, in the collage, do they have to use the magazines or can they draw? You can draw if you want to do that. You can use the magazines. You can use a combination. Okay? All right, you may begin.
What method are we gonna use?
Are we going to use Flipgrid?
You can just use video, your phone.
You are too technology savvy.
Well, you do what you do.
I was just gonna use my phone.
I was like, record for 2 minutes and send us a video. But y'all are like techies.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, Laredo.
I wasn't here last week.
In your Padlet, you have this paper right here.
Put that upside down pad so it can be a bigger plastic.
The live activities, you have 2 activities that you need to get done. Candidates will create a computer-generated brochure that will inform the parents on the advantages of using learning centers. Use the Writer's Guide persuasive brochure for guidelines. any program can be used to create the brochure. That's your first activity that you need to do. You can also, when you're doing centers, one of your centers can be a writing center, and it can be to develop a brochure. We used to have this one here, but we needed to cut down for time. So that is considered a writing center. And the second part is you will have to submit a 2-minute video on how you would convince your administrator to support you in using learning centers. The same thing they're going to do. And it will be, you have to give me at least 5 points as to why you should use learning centers. Pretend I'm your administrator, 5 points, you're telling me we should use learning centers because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different reasons. Then you will submit those 2 to A-Step, okay? Any questions, please email Juan. And the videos, we do want to see them because we're gonna show them. Thank you.
Go to flashcards.
Oh, so you did it?
Hi, boys.
We got flashcards now? Everything. Flashcards. Or simple. Spell, scatter icons.
They did extra work.
So I guess we'll do the flashcards. You see or writer?
No, sir.
Is that, I mean, I have like that, so it's too much better.
Oh, you need
Smart. Title. Identifies the center as separate from other flashcard activities. How does that make sense? Yeah, that's what it is. I don't know. Title. Oh, it even says click to flip. I don't really understand how it's titled. Arrange the pleasing and productive furniture. Yeah, that's totally rich. Where are we finding this is yeah, this is what it says. So it says these are full directions or flashcards. Where's the battery? Storage. Consider the use of space for okay, so like what we're also saying that now no, but I mean, see, the lady that was
Whatever you want, as long as it's hitting that article.
admin, they're going to require us to integrate technology into
So not the first
Are you ready or not?
Mira, güey.
Good for you. Congratulations.
Determine what is needed and where it may be obtained from, such as parents.
Hey, you want me to take something?
Hold on.
Consider physical placement as a range of expectations. It's like, how does he know? To be considered in the development of any center, students need to know what each other's responsibility is. Responsibility. I don't know. Yeah, okay, so this is the same thing but here, but it's a measure. Oh, here's the earth. No. The last 2 years when I was teaching, I had to buy materials and because my stipends ran out, budget. Nice work. Yay!
Where's our learning center?
Are we supposed to have some? How did you? Next is
I'll be right there.
Okay,
where am I? And have a little article.
In the regular.
That's only part of the conversation. That's the only part of the conversation. Right. As you get better at questions, we'll start to do easier questions. With written questions as you go faster. Consider the use of space within the center.
Correct? Correct?
No, sorry. It's not even on the, it's right here.
Sorry. Okay, we won't get hurt.
Okay. Identifies the center as a center. Wait, what's that? No, because that one I do remember.
Yeah.
It is important to consider the order of activities.
Are we ready?
Activities within the center to be done. Is that the sequence of activities? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, correct. Or simple? Correct. Type of stations?
Include a variety of tasks ranging from difficult to easy and based on determining what is needed and where it be obtained.
Is that correct? Okay, now you're confusing me. Okay, types of stations. That is not correct. Frequency of stations. That is not correct.
Arrange in a pleasing.
Put it down for right now. Groups, the types of groups. That is wrong. Types of activities. That's wrong. Ideas for stations. Ideas for decorating. Vocabulary of words. Vocabulary of words.
Identify as a center as separate from other activities. Yeah, but now it wants me to type it in.
Yes. No.
It's like giving me multiple choice.
Do you remember? Sorry, guys.
We answered it. Identify as a center as separate. Yeah. Consider the use of space within the center.
Art.
Really? Co-city
Writing.
center should be discussed with students.
Science.
Assignments.
Correct. Social studies. That's correct. Math. That's correct. I'll be back.
Co-sit in each center, so it should be instructions. With students as part of one or more introductory lessons. Things to consider.
I just found out on Monday.
Congratulations.
I interviewed and I got a good job. I told them that I said, I still need to take me to yard. I did cut.
Sit down.
It's not a sign.
Not, are we ready?
Word.
Let's see here. Let's see.
We got our card.
Okay. Do you have benefits or not?
No, it's unresponsible. That's on our. Things to consider. Who will be responsible for evaluation? And how it will be accomplished.
Okay, no, this is
So,
our ideas with them.
Magnetic center, yes. Just one questioning, yes.
no, that's not it. How long? No. It has to be assessment with yeah, it is assessment. As a rule of thumb, keep the center in operation only as long as the decide how long the center is.
You were engaged with.
Include a variety of tasks ranging from easy from difficult to easy.
I guess we can start sticking. What you do.
It goes from difficult to easy.
And there's some.
It is important to consider the order of how it's sequence.
Go over here and see how you can do it.
This one, we thought this one was this one.
Okay, you get it?
So do we have to go? Do we have to? Okay, just sit. Wait, it's already gonna be set. Yeah.
We didn't have a card.
No.
Does anybody?
We don't have a law.
Okay,
The sun.
okay, what they're saying, fluency and oral reading. Fluency and oral reading. When they're saying fluency,
Okay, we should
they're
try to
saying
find
how
some.
fast can they read.
I didn't see it.
How fluent are they in their
Or not.
reading?
I mean, if this one repeated that much.
Yeah, it's really, there's spell, we already did. There's test.
It's not even that.
Ideas for decorations, that is correct.
Speller.
Nope.
Where the heck is scatter right now?
What?
I don't know.
Those two are all.
It's yay or nay.
Identifies the center.
Types of stations. You have rotating stations, you have
Center as separate.
See, one you want.
Is this art? Consider where centers
Is
will
art?
be set up.
Yes.
Space.
Science, math.
Consider the use of space in the center where typical spaces are things to consider who will be responsible for evaluation.
I don't know if you want to write
Partner reading, just turn your computer.
It is important to consider the order of how activities within center will be done. Sequence of activities. As a rule of thumb, keep the center of operation only as long as the students and that's the duration.
I was just saying, we know so that way whoever's talking, train them know what it is, you know.
How long? Did y'all get it right? Okay, it is 7 o'clock. Make sure your area is clean. The puzzles, mix them all up.
We're in the middle of taking the test.
We never got our exit.
Our record keeping.
Just write it down on sheet paper. Just go and write on sheet paper. Okay, just any sheet because I have to go get them with you.
What do we write down?
No, don't worry about that. I'm going to be tricky. Yes. No, the record keeping.
We're in the middle of taking the test.
We're just reenacting. We're just going through the motion.
I wanted to get 100.
Okay. Time to move on to your next center.
Legit.
I don't have the record keeping sheet. I will get it to you as soon as I can get it. I'll get it to you between the break. Y'all write it down. It's nothing huge. Move to the next center. Give me the
This is not a puzzle. Yeah, I thought it was going to be a puzzle.
Move on to the next center. Look at your schedule to see where you're moving. 7:01. Go ahead and switch. You have 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Station. Leave it right there.
No, girl, we're on this side of the way.
I don't know. What is your color? What is your color?
We're on to the 2 different classrooms. The same side of the class.
You just walked the wall.
I just walked the wall.
We can bring your collage over here.
There's 2 different classrooms, guys.
Within your 3, you go right here.
Yeah, this is art.
Don't yell at me. Look at your rotation schedule. Look at your rotation schedule.
Oh, you're right here? Oh.
I'm putting my stuff here live. Can I go get my food?
Okay. Remember to use our inside quiet voices. Look at review your rules and look at your task card so you can see the instructions. Task card and technology, I don't have your record keeping sheet. I will give it to you in a bit after the break. You may begin.
Missing cover
That works pretty cool. It looks weird, but for definitions, for example,
Read the directions, they're right there.
So 19.
Take a look at the board. They're all words.
Colors, pens, markers,
I'm joking. Don't look at the
No, I'm not. It's an article in
I don't know. There's cheers back there.
Where's the test? Like, let it go. Look at the answers. Don't look at the answers. Look at the answers. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There should be women in the classroom. Based on the yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's a pre-test, so it's like
Okay, Laredo. I understand some of you have already done this as part of your pre-work, but if you didn't, this was the live activity for our session. The first piece was to do a brochure, computer-generated brochure. This is in your Padlet, this form. And number 2 is to do a 2-minute video. And in the video, you are trying to convince your administrator as to why you should be allowed to use learning centers in your classroom. Use the research that you have read about in your pre-work, anything that you have read in your pre-work or anything that you read in your other module, 5 different points that would convince your administrator to use learning centers.
It's like different.
Oh, sorry. No questions.
So these are already done.
Easier questions and next week with written questions.
Mathematics?
Are y'all doing? Y'all agree?
That would be time. Wait, what was that one?
6?
That's not.
But right now you're doing this.
Yeah.
Is it art and this? Art and this one go together?
Check your
Studying stuff automatically.
This, wait, isn't this what we had?
I'm making the
Environmental principles.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's. That's all environmental.
All I have is food and home decor.
It's all right.
I'm sure, did you look at the article? It's behind the task card.
Put it right in front of her face.
Okay, you can read that off.
I would recommend you
Yeah, all the, whatever you have.
but then what,
We just did over there. Like your benefits, your assessment, start
And the whole thing is that you see that over and over again, so you can get.
I'm still drawing
Identify the center as separate from work. Point you see it over and over and over. Because you are actually enforcing.
We had an
So by the time you come to this, by the time you get to that center that you're doing, history, you're doing the revolution. Let's say one day you have them doing that. The revolution. Let's say another day you have them doing Quizlet, questions on the revolution. Let's say the third day you have them doing the presidential. It's the same item different ways.
That's what the centers are.
Questioning.
So you can get, like now, if you're in elementary, you work at different things.
so, benefits.
You can have a con, you can, okay, then you have centers, right?
I think we missed it.
Concept.
Because right now I told them, it's environmental print and they're like, what's that?
It sure is environmental.
Okay, so this is a
Lucky Charm.
See, you're like, oh, you're like, yeah, so that's, you should right away know, benefits on this, and then you picture of that. The point is to understand a different, see it in a different way, and you're engaging your mind, the art.
No wonder like sitting here.
Are we ready? Over there? No, I'm sorry, I missed that. Okay, here we go.
That was a strategy.
Oh, that's
We're aiming for 95.
Actually, we're aiming with for 7 now.
Oh yeah, I was going for like
Hey.
like let's say you want to show benefits.
Okay, here we go. Show me our centers. Very good.
But what other?
Assessments.
Locations, current.
Very good. Start center.
Look for something like that. Standardized communication.
That's good. Types of stations. Stations.
Learning style.
Okay, so they're studying survey.
Frequency.
Right.
Side word. That is correct.
Which is like these
Types of groups.
there's no like that's a side word.
That's like word processing and all. It's not like an exchange.
Ideas for decorating stations.
We need to find a
Yeah, we can do whatever.
For instance, like.
We're gonna create a guide.
Right here, activities,
Because when you're reading to practice, partner reading, that's good. Right.
Well, social studies, geography, pop
I thought this was a test.
Need for skill, isn't that is correct?
Hold on, because this is talking about the like
Correct, comprehension, skills, metaphors, alternative, learning alternative, correct.
It's almost here.
Right here. Perfect.
Now, I'm gonna have you all.
It's like, I'm a natural. I don't know.
put them back in the bag and make sure you're right. Yeah, boy. It is 7:15. Finish up what you're doing and you can go on break. Benefits. Correct? Needs assessment.
I can spell it over.
That's the one.
Okay, vowels, context clues, what else?
Prefixes, it's right?
Prefixes, no. I'm trying to figure out what it is. That's all study of the word.
Word study.
I used to read like they have
Which one was it that you were looking for?
That one.
What do you do? Reading levels, scores, and tests. Start simple.
Oh, that's the one.
Yep. Types of stations. Yep. Frequency of stations. They're correct. Types of group.
Meter scale.
Correct. Types of activities. You're hilarious. Ideas for decorating. Correct. Vocabulary and word study. Right? Fluency and oral reading. Correct. Comprehension.
That's gonna be this one.
That is motivation.
Okay, Blue taxonomy, everything is what?
Lady Gaga?
That's not comprehensive.
What is Blue taxonomy?
one note.
Taxonomy.
What did it say? Blue taxonomy what?
Oh, comprehensive.
What Blue taxonomy? Question. So? Comprehension activities. What do you use? What do you use? That is correct. Listening. That is correct. Magnetic center. No, this one magnetic center. And you have a gateway magnetic. There you go. Art. Yes. Writing.
Social life.
Yes. Science.
Science jobs.
Social studies. Math. Value and types of activities.
Yeah, most of them.
Put them back in the bag and shape them. And then we can decorate. We're good at it. Make sure you shoot it. Y'all can go on break, guys. Just turn in what you've done. Okay? Okay. Guys, y'all keep going break. Just turn in what you've done. Your collage is going to come up here when you're done. Y'all can go on break, guys. Oh, okay, that's your break.
Good comeback, good comeback.
Location. Furniture? Arrange necessary furniture in a pleasing and productive manner.
The art of
It's like this no trip.
Wow, it's
Duration of centers.
I go to my Vietnamese
Well, now you're gonna have the whole page.
Yeah, because one of my students is
You're all right?
Chorizo fried rice is last
Hey, what clip were you trying to show me?
What is this?
Record your progress on the
Then you also
The 5 of us.
Randy all working right up.
Bro, I don't take breaks.
Okay.
No, I think then you also
No,
No, I downloaded some, I downloaded some 6 year and
nothing to do with comfort.
I knew a bunch of people involved. It wasn't no, they were it was specifically he's sitting over there. I would feel
Have you guys seen those little baby cars that, like, you can fit 2 of them in one parking spot? The little super small ones? Yeah. Would you ever buy one of those?
And then if it's like summer, oh my god, it's even. Because I know like a bunch of my friends they were in here. It's one like curry, but that's a completely different scent.
But I have a friend that's eating all this.
Your turn being normal.
Oh my god.
Or turn their
They were also that was so it was my and I would have to go turn on the and I was like,
Man, I live in a sleep like
So you eating too much fruit, overdoing even a different
It's like the cars and not
Halo?
Marble print.
So where do you put it? So my head is. Oh, it's over there.
Is there a picture of you?
Like a little cart. Like put you in. I put it on the table and try to.
what?
The specs for and then 5.
Does it taste like
I'm taking to a party this weekend.
Let me know.
I went to Mexico.
All of it.
Different bottles.
Have you been to la taquería? No. Taquería Jalisco.
There's like 2 of them. The one by the Traques. Yeah, the hot shop.
So in other words, like they view bathing.
You don't want to touch right? The yellow one. They have horchata. Yeah, they have horchata.
They don't think it's a
You haven't tried your own horchata?
It's a really good
Coworkers have, but
That is the only place
that's
I
what
will
I
stop.
mean. Nasty.
Taquería mexicana also good. Nasty. I'm telling you, the only place in the yellow one. Yes, but it's, I think it's big. Yeah, but I think it's big.
She's like a teacher. She's saying 4.
I've been there.
all you can eat seafood. Turned up. And Sabores del Golfo is next to where she's part of the old Harlem.
A little bit more ahead.
The old Harlem. Cepitas de leche.
Right, with that nitro.
Okay, dale para allá. Antes de los tacos. Sorry, I walked.
What are some of the words? What were some of the words? No, that's
That's not Tierra.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's not what what were some of the words that were important? And it's on commerce. Local now. It's next to local.
Vega, the American burrito. It's like an enchilada with carne guisada inside.
They're at
Tierra.
No. These are people that are up there.
Reading twice. That's cool.
Oh, I put reading.
Intermediate and the expert.
I mean, that one started.
She never goes anywhere with
Oh my God.
There's no cure for cereals.
Oh, cool. I later grabbed 2 from 8 to.
Because first they'll do motivation.
It's him, his wife, and his son.
are living here because they already have a party sector. They like
More money, more problems.
All I know is that his wife
This is our face before you go to
All right. Let's go ahead now. It's 7:30. Let's go ahead. Look at your rotation schedule. Look at your rotation schedule, everybody, please, if I can have your attention. Thank you. Look at your rotation schedule. What group, what color are you here? Yellow. Where are you going to next? Yellow. What? Puzzles? Puzzles are over here. Where are you all going to next? Quizlet over here. Make sure you bring your collage to the front. Bring your collage to the front. Leave your area clean. Leave your area clean.
What? Did y'all learn to do the art? Oh, okay. Good luck.
Yeah,
You set the bar pretty high.
Make sure you tip your waiter. Don't give him a hefty tip.
Okay, it is 7:30. You have until 7:45 at this center. Puzzle centers, do not look at the article. Do it without looking at the article. Tell me when you're ready and I will check it.
Hey guys, we set the bar pretty high.
We set the bar pretty high.
Indoor voices.
I like it.
No, it's not.
That is so beautiful.
I do.
Okay, guys, let's get started. Why do I have so many people here? Oh, sorry. She's like, hey, man, give me a chance. Sorry.
At the center, you will individually create a collage based on PowerPoint. And the center assessment. Highlight important points of the article. Create a collage that summarizes the article. It's the only article I Designed in California. Cities everywhere.
Where do we go? Log in, sign up, and get started.
Yeah,
Oh, sir.
You do it to PowerPoint?
no, so we're making a collage based on this.
I know, I just
Or you can
started and then next week.
Last group.
We'll go last group.
We gotta make a collage.
Taking full instructions.
I gotta make a teacher.
John group.
A mí se me hace que esta es
Yeah.
la regla.
How do I start simple? Okay.
As long as it's not
Basically, guys, this is about
Learning centers?
See?
Okay, so time to
This could be great.
That's a legitimate thing.
You're in unison now.
Title. Identifies the center as center of the classroom. Arrange the consider the use of space within the
A collage on what's the top first?
That's like some twisters.
Consider the use of space within the center. Learn.
Sure, some examples, okay. Social studies, For some comprehension, magazine activities, newspaper activities, math activities, cereal box activities, food label activities.
Those are the ones where it shows you side by side.
Alright. Match me.
It happened, what was it? Our president decides to go
Very hard. Number of centers, yeah, I get it, man. Number of centers, consider where centers will be set up.
Is it like my boss? They don't travel.
I heard
They do like the centers, like computers, bulletin boards, art,
cabinet members call it?
like
30 seconds now.
Okay, so the first one is
Benefits, needs assessments, start simple, types of activities, types of
crayons, anything color, for art, anything artsy.
That's grouped by interest, maybe?
Like that, like science.
Groups by interest, oh, I got long time for interest.
Writing, like journals,
You got any more scissors?
notebook,
I saw over there it is.
vocabulary. You know what?
I don't know how I got it right now. I was absolutely honestly, the only reason.
Anybody else want to try?
Was that free?
So that's all.
I see that you
We're all going to need to put our heads together for this. What's your other success of your center?
Are you ready?
So we have to go with science, social studies, math, social technology, yes.
Wait, what? Assure the success.
What was the
Yeah.
What's the second?
Management system.
I just was
Benefits?
They're not getting
Are you guys doing
Fun Friday.
Reports, that's correct, benefits?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we should do, turn it around that way.
That's the
Start
See,
simple.
I got this entire thing right here.
Correct.
location,
Typeface.
space, furniture.
File folder case. I know.
Space.
Rotating individualized.
See here, everyone.
Correct.
But just like, yeah, like we'll group like.
Types of groups.
Location.
Correct. Types of activities.
Yeah, you're right.
Correct. Ideas for decoration.
What about this one?
Maybe we have to put
Maybe it's not really.
He has like 7.
Okay, anybody that we next door.
What's next door?
Yeah, like I want to
Hey, she's an actress.
Ideas for decoration.
She's the annoying one.
Vocabulary and word study skills.
Knocked up. No.
That is correct. Fluency.
Oh, that one's good.
Correct.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're saying. The producer's wife.
Questioning.
Learning center.
Correct.
Got the activity.
Questioning skills. Question. Question.
I'm gonna put them over here.
Take your boots up.
What's it having?
Question correct. Listening. Correct. Magnetic games. Tenderness. Art.
When I
Correct.
look at those pictures, they depress me. So I don't look at them. I overeat sometimes.
So we're gonna
Something about cartoons.
I got one.
Now, What you're gonna do, you just use literally 8 minutes, 6-7 minutes to do it. So, move around and see how fast you can do it.
There's nothing like let's see if we can get like stickers or like there's no like
What was it?
that's what I'm looking for, like art.
Each one of them because apparently his supplement but apparently they were having some it's like need one he had brownies. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna go volunteer.
Really level, is that the benefits to learning centers? What are the benefits?
I'm not fine.
Okay, where's needs assessment?
All of that, are they, no, the actual topics, or
type of stations.
That's why we
Type of stations.
It's not visual, it's
Okay, rotating and visualize.
There's like the kettlebell. Which one? This one, this one?
That one, this one is more, this is for tons of videos. I did 2 years, I decided what to put on my we're all over. Come on. I was going to say something worse, but make up What else we got? What is it? My mom got one in her. That's my dad's like, no, I'm not gonna go. I said there's one that has recipes. There's some cashew. Yeah, see, this one has a recipe. Cleansing sesame smoke.
There's chocolates here.
You said the vegetable. Oh, and then I haven't gone for tacos. Places like
Okay, read that.
Yeah, it's tacos stage. Oh, and then the beans are really no, my eating went for
magnetic center.
It's mine.
Writing. Science.
Reader's Theater. A newspaper or magazine article.
Some people.
Is there like an extra magazine article still here?
Yeah, he's okay. And then I remember that I had to drive him all the way to with my wife and how do you explain everything's gonna be okay. And I was take personal, everything's gonna be okay, like don't worry. He got surgery and everything. But smart. I mean, I'm pretty sure the same thing happened to his sister.
He's like,
they're all
he's like, the magazine can just like,
and they yeah, like if there's nothing wrong with them, then all of a sudden they can
he's thinking outside the box right now.
my photo was like pale white, like barely clean.
Here's a magazine article. Transition. Supposed to say
Yeah, and like I want to like step right on
My daughter went through all that. They just got it.
Can we look at those over there? Yeah, actually. What is this supposed to be? Time? Something I don't know. Need to know. Yeah, I did. Sorry.
That's the only motivation you need.
That's
There it
It's not fair, man. We gotta make this up.
All right, 7:46. Let's go ahead and collages, whatever you have, you can bring them up. We need to pick up our centers. Collage people, put the magazines back in a nice order. There's papers straggling. If everybody, somebody from each center, thank you, bring me your stuff up here. I would appreciate it. Let's clean up our workstations.
Is that faded?
Right over here, sir, please.
I was like, I wasn't sure I pulled out my.
They went, they put it in the EMS.
Like, make sure I didn't go.
Yeah, and they broke
Home improvement. You know what?
Sorry, they're always.
Yeah, you're just like chilling on your phone. It's all good. It's all good.
I'm still
Please bring up your task card, your rotation schedule, and your rules. Please bring them up here. Collages, go over here.
Oh, you brought it?
Magazines, you can. Where does this go? It goes back there, right?
Yes, it's mine.
I know.
Sorry, guys.
Magazines up here.
Jump in there. Try to pick this
As well as you
So you gotta make room. Squats. Today's Wednesday, right? Today's
La cara de what? La cara de Diana. Oh my god, I got hard. I'm gonna have a bag just like that. Carrying my laptop. What? How did you get that?
I guarantee. I am missing one task card.
Didn't too bad.
What? One task card? Is that it?
What station?
Oh, there it is.
Have you seen that new
And one rules? No, I'm not, sorry. Okay. If you can go back to your regular area, if you haven't done so yet. The whole purpose of this activity is to, first of all, to review what you read. Most importantly, remember, learning centers are to reinforce or enrich what you already know. Somebody said, well, we did that in the other center. I go, well, that's the whole point. The more you're exposed to it, the more students are exposed to certain material, the more it's going to be part of what they know. It's like you're just giving it to them in different modalities. You're giving it to them doing an art project. You're giving it to them using technology. You're giving it to them using puzzles. So you're using all their senses to try and manipulate the new information. Okay? What we're going to do next is, do y'all have a sheet of paper? Do y'all have a sheet of paper? Okay, y'all can take out a sheet of paper at this time.
You mean like a group effort or like an
individual? This is an individual. This is individual. One of the main concerns when we do learning centers is parents feel that it's all part of a group and that individual doesn't get the credit that they belong, that they deserve. Because many times in a group there'll be a slacker, there'll be one that's wanting to make sure everything is correct, and there'll be two that are just talking about their work but mostly talking about their stuff. I'm not saying who was who in each group, and you don't have to tell me. What I want you to do now is, one of the main concerns of teachers is they have a center that is boring or that is not exciting or is not teaching the children anything. So it's always very important to get feedback from the students to see how you can improve that center. So what you're going to do right now is you're going to be doing your record keeping chart. This will be your exit ticket before we leave. You will do this chart on your paper. I have the sheet, I don't know what happened to it. At the top, you will put the name of the center. You will have technology, art, technology, and what was the third one?
Quizlet.
Quiz.
Puzzle.
That's
Technology,
technology.
art, and
Puzzle.
puzzle. Okay, puzzle. Group grade. You're going to give your group a grade. A, that y'all did awesome. B, C, D, forget it. A, B, C, or D. Be honest.
Is that one word record or the record?
Record,
Oh, you.
Yeah, there's a D, you just can't see it.
What's the last word?
I love it, I love it.
What's the last word? Movement center?
Denise like assignment.
It's not there.
Last one is improvement center.
There. Record. Okay. The next chart, the next section of your chart, give me one aha moment. Aha, I get it. Did you have an aha moment in technology with any of the words that you were studying? Any of the concepts? Did you have an aha moment in the art area? Did you have you should at least have one aha moment. And then the last one
What is it?
is improvement to center. How would you improve that center?
Never do puzzles.
Okay? So, this is your exit ticket. I am going to give you 5 minutes to fill it out. 5 minutes to fill it out.
So, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
Does the aha moment have to be positive or negative?
It can be positive or negative. It's just an aha moment. But the whole point is, aha, I get it.
Where do we put the aha moment?
It's the second column. The first column is your group grade. Your group grade. You're grading you will grade your group. Guys, listen, we're asking questions. The group grade is how you will grade your group. The second one, an aha moment. Aha, I get it. And the third one, how would you improve that center? There is always room for improvement. Always.
Now, if like for a particular one, we have like no aha moment.
You need to have an aha moment.
Okay, it might just be an ah moment, and then aha.
Just amuse me and just write something.
It just the aha moment.
With the grade A, B, C?
A, B, C, or D? A, B, C, or D? You now have 3 minutes. You now have 3 minutes. This is an individual thing. There shouldn't be talking. This is individual.
Do we have to put our names in there?
Yes, it's an exit ticket. Yep, everything I do is for a grade, sir. No talking, no talking. Practice your self-control. No talking. Silence is golden right now. Shh. No talking, please. You have 2 minutes. No talking. 1 minute. Eight o'clock. Okay, pencils down. Pass them up to the middle of the table. No, put your name on it. Pass them up to the middle of the table. Middle of the table. And one person from each group come up and bring them to me. Make sure they're one for each one of your group. Got one for everybody?
We are.
So I have everybody.
That's what happens when you leave us. You regret it? Never. That's the cool group. It's the fun.
Okay. If I can have your attention now. What we're going to do is, I'm going to set up the collages while you all do the next activity. And then after I set it up, after you finish your activity, we're going to bring them up here. Whichever ones, you're going to come up and you're going to discuss them. Your next activity is with your 5 original people. You're going to come up with a 2-minute, no more than 2 minutes, people. You want to make it less, you can make it less. But at least, no more than 2 minutes. You have to come up with 5 reasons as to how you're going to convince your administrator that you need to do learning centers in your classroom. How can you do the video? There's 5 of you, so obviously I don't want you to just be talking into the camera. The 5 reasons are, I want you to reenact something. I want you to be creative in it. I want you to say, okay, what are the benefits? What are the good things about learning centers? How are kids as opposed to not having centers, as opposed to using centers? Many different ideas. Be as creative as you possibly can. But within it, embed different ideas, different reasons. 5 different reasons. But be creative. Make it fun. You're trying to persuade me to let you do learning centers. Have you all ever seen persuasive commercials?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to show you an example of a persuasive commercial. You're making a small commercial is what you're doing. You're making a small commercial, but the commercial is to your administrator. But you're giving 5 reasons as to, when we are done. Thank you. I will get you, in your commercial, you have to put 5 reasons as to why you can do learning centers. So persuade me to do learning centers. Okay? Let me get the commercial for you all. Do we have sound in this one?
Yes, I do.
Okay, are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Come up with ideas. Start thinking about what you're going to do. Let me just let it go. Can y'all turn off the lights?
The opportunity for the cook to learn.
A persuasive commercial. Here we go.
Oh, that's a little too jam.
Is it on? The sound?
Your volume is low.
Oh, I don't know who
On
went
the.
Where is it?
Is it loud enough? Gotta drink a lot of Gatorade. They're persuading me to buy Gatorade.
I'm married, and I usually be a smoker. I want to give you some medicine about getting ready in the morning. Most of your days. Then when your hand wins the fight, and now you're ready for the day.
Persuade people through fear. Bandwagon.
Hello, ladies. Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back to your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me. But if he stopped using lady-scented body washes, which to Old Spice, he could smell like he's me. Look down. Back up. Where are you? You're on a boat. The man your man could smell it. What's in your hand? Back at me. I have it. It's an oyster with 2 tickets to that thing you love. Look again. The tickets are now diamond. Anything is possible when your man smells like Old Spice and not a lady. I'm on a horse.
Anger.
It's time to stand up to the cheaters and make sure we protect jobs for the American people.
Mitt Romney, tough on China. Romney's companies were called pioneers in shipping U.S. manufacturing jobs overseas. He invested in firms that specialized in relocating jobs to low-wage countries like China. Even today, part of Romney's fortune is invested in China. Romney's never stood up to China. All he's done is send them our jobs.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
Sex. So I don't want you to use that one, but I'm just.
Get back on track if you want me back. Do the sweet song for me.
Can you play that one again?
Status.
I didn't catch it.
Status.
Want to see car again?
We're supremely agile, remarkably powerful, and fiercely independent. This is Jaguar at play.
Friendship.
Good night, Mr. Goldblatt.
Good night.
Intelligence.
It was designed to escape the ordinary. It feels like it can escape gravity. The 2013 C-Class Coupe. $37,800.
Pleasure.
Go back to the park.
For some families, it's the park time. For others, it's the pool time. And there are those who love the nighttime most of all.
We know that every family is different, and now you can save up to 30% on rooms at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels for a vacation that gives your family just what they want.
So don't wait. Let the memories begin at the place where dreams come true.
Altruism. Humor. Okay, can you turn on the lights, please? One of the centers, especially in high school and middle school, is having students, you give them a concept and then they take off with it. They take off with it and they make it their own. They can make it through a movie, they can make it through a persuasive commercial, they can make it through a small skit. The whole point is to get them engaged in the material. So today you're going to be, you've already been engaged in the material 3 different ways. This is the last way that you'll be engaged in it. You will have to do a persuasive commercial, no more than 2 minutes. If it's only a minute, that's fine. But you have all different types of ways. That's why I showed you the video. I hope your mind is racing right now, coming up with ideas. The whole point is within the video, how many points do you have to talk about at least? 5. 5. At least 5 things. You have to say at least 5 things that you learned, 5 research items that you talked about, 5 points that you, 5 points as to why learning centers should be okay to use in your classroom. You're persuading me to let you use learning centers. You all work for me and I am your principal. So you tell me, I want to use learning centers. No, you can't use them. Those are for babies. No, but let me, no. Okay, I have a video for you. So you're going to try and convince me to use learning centers. It's 8:13. You have 20 minutes with your group to do a quick little skit. As soon as you're done with it, email it to Juan, and then Juan is going to we're going to show them up here. Got it? 8:13.
So when we record it, can we record it out there?
You can go anywhere to record. Okay. You have to be back, and don't tell me I need more time. Use the 20 minutes wisely.
McDonald's.
8:35, you're back. 8:35, it needs to be sent in. Got it? 20 minutes should be enough to do a 2-minute video. You may go. Get with your group.
That's differentiation.
Differentiation, different. So we have teamwork, technology, differentiation. That's why we can use accountability.
So I don't see corporate.
You can use anything that we have.
So it's teamwork, education, technology, differentiation. Yeah, the accountability. That's the fourth one. And the fifth one should be.
So how did they send it to you?
We already worked with teamwork. We can use it, we can make it a full yeah, we can, yeah, so you could use it as formative assessments, you know, at the very end of it. Oh, I'd say that's no, you can understand. Technology. So it requires, when you're making a project, say the project is like for science, you're using teamwork, one person is doing this, one person is doing this. Go away.
Like everybody will have right. But okay.
Okay, well, specific. Okay, so. Okay, so you can do QA, you can do linear programming. It's easy, it's all math.
Yeah, but when you say, yeah. I didn't
No, linear programming, as if you have like three or four equations, you grab them, and then you kind of like, okay, so like say we have like 4 lines. The ones here represent this, once here represent this, once here represent this. You know that? Okay, good, we can do a linear programming. That's what I was asking. This time? Because you're also teaching math. Wait, you also know Statistics. Chi-squared. Beta test.
What are we gonna do with that?
Okay, so
I'll be shy. Okay, I'll be shy.
okay, you're gonna be our narrator.
I know something about
Okay. Hang on. Let me record this. So that way you can.
Okay, let's do that first. When you change it, like the order.
You gotta stop watching Little Rock. Okay, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, what are we gonna say?
Think of it. I'll be right back.
So,
15 more minutes.
No, like you.
okay, let's see if I can go.
I'm gonna, let's just get it over.
The thing is, what are we gonna do? Okay, so I mean, what you originally said was that you wanted me provide something, something like absolutely zero. So I was like, oh, leader program. That's why I asked him. You don't know leader program.
That looks like I got
Wait, we can use it. We can use the boards as well.
Yes, we can.
Oh my god. Detained them.
Careful, that one's messed up. I don't want you all to fall.
Are we there yet?
That's pretty close. I can record.
Yeah, please bag up.
What's going to be the teacher?
Those smear real bad.
And then you guys will be the students. So I think that it could be her jumping in what she said. You guys are gonna sit there on the board and just let you around.
You heard your business? So editor, we're about
Yeah, and so. Different to motivate learning. I know.
Hold on. Remember, people may be recording, so try and keep the voice to a minimum. You can go somewhere else to record if you want to too. It's too loud.
Spirit fingers?
You don't want to write an
You're the only adult.
Students are going to want to see the benefits of a like this because we're social.
Our collage.
So we only need. Technically, we just yeah, we can
down on the bottom.
we can use
Try to like put them together.
You want to practice before I start recording? Sí,
And I'm good as over here? Yeah.
But only have 4.
Okay, the light better there.
She look good there.
I'm not recording.
Okay, guys, we discussed in our last lesson about Abraham Lincoln. Today,
Yeah, you can kind of talk to them and say, sometimes yeah, because right there, we focus on you.
You're looking at her.
On you, thinking out loud.
You're just recording some video.
There you go. And then after you come out, and after you start talking to them and say, we're going to change
Without learning center.
Yeah, your face. Yeah, you gotta use a lot of facial. Boring words, tired, and then like without learning center. Those colors around. Mira, aquí está. Show your face.
Let's close one of the
Yeah, so we're on Saturday.
what time was this?
We're gonna have those, and then we'll put this all in the thing. We'll put all this here when.
She's gonna bring it up.
Go in Dr. Science. I'll get my.
Won't be in anybody's video.
So let's go ahead and get into learning center.
Technology.
Hey, you guys want to get over here in my learning center? It would really make me. Okay, now, what are the directions?
Yeah, so let's see
the draft.
What are you going to be? Okay, I'll be the obnoxious one.
Recording without.
Okay, class, so today we're going to go over
Yeah, that makes sense.
And y'all are going to work together and create and work on the lessons that we are reviewing. Okay, signing. I like it. You don't have to lecture for an hour. You know what, you're going to get it right here. There was a recording.
You gotta report her.
Okay, class, so today we're going to be the cycle butterfly.
Learning centers. Okay.
Ready? So today we're going to learn the cycle butterfly. So did everybody read the article that we read yesterday? No. Yes, the cycle butterfly. Okay guys, come on. So we gotta make sure we're ready. So everybody, what is the first stage of the butterfly? As you can see, the pattern is very alright, you know what? I'm going to motivate students. My students. It appeals to your social skills. Forget these papers, forget the lesson but forget what I have in today's lecture.
And I made friends.
We're going to try something new. We're going to do some learning center. So now I'm going to be saying, work together. I want you to make a collage. Wow. Draw, use your imagination, collaborate. So like, it's kind of like, I love it. Yeah, to lecture for a whole hour. Have you ever felt like your classroom is going nowhere? Like your students are on their ass? That's like, I know, but I'm just a new teacher. I'm going to be a teacher. You're going to be a teacher. Just like what I just said right now.
3 minutes.
My God. 3 minutes. Exactly what I would have. 3 minutes? Okay, so okay. 1 minute and 43 seconds. So you're going to go from like
You make your own lesson. What's your content? What's your content?
So strong in mindset.
Here.
No, you're talking about sentence because I'm going to elaborate. You're just talking about like take the class and then you're going to create the sentence.
Everybody didn't see it.
Okay, so this is what all you're going to say is like exactly what I just said right now. The teacher, blah, 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 and then they're paying attention and playing around, you know, stuff like that. And then I'm going to say, because it has to look like that. No okay. Okay, right. I'll do it. Yes. Come on, students, let's pay attention. Everybody pay attention. We're going to go over the stages of the butterfly. Can I get everybody's attention? Has your classroom ever felt like this, where nobody even pays attention to you and doesn't listen or are too busy doing other things? Let me show you what we learning center.
I don't even want to sit there.
So now we're going to go. Okay, so now get in groups.
Very happy.
I didn't want to see it.
So now with learning center, we're going to Teamwork, but through technology also, student accountability and scaffolding. So let's see the teamwork now. How's everything going, guys?
Right now we're trying to speak a little bit.
Good job. So notice how they're now cooperating with learning and they're learning from technology at the same time,
Well, can you-
which is one of the things.
Just send it, I have.
Because this will
There's
be
no way we
the
can
scores
just send
and the
this
assessment.
via mail.
The next thing, we're gonna do some.
If you have a Gmail,
Why don't we send the video?
So yeah, we need to.
Send it to Juan.
Yeah, you send him the URL.
Why, went over the whole thing?
I want to see myself where it was like. Oh, man.
Okay, just
I'm just afraid, like.
Yeah, I said that if you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account.
It is a new phone. Oh, God.
One, R.
You must connect to Wi-Fi and it works.
She's on the ship.
What's the Wi-Fi? Oh, M-A-R-I-T-E. Yeah, that's it. Is that what yours is on? Oh.
No, all our kids. This is their
That's great. And I'm like,
That to me is like.
From last week's.
Were y'all able to upload it?
We're working on sending it to somebody's Gmail, so that way they can take it. The one that is sending it.
I think so.
But
They send it on password.
Just go.
As long as the 5.
It's on like.
So if I want to try to send you this one and share it.
That's why
I really wasn't gonna kind of like comment. So you just had to. And then I came.
Preparing it, like I said, I was even not always. I put it right there.
And that's awesome. You nailed it.
Yeah, I tried. You know, let's get it.
Let me show you.
Like, I need to download stuff.
Should be already finishing up.
The principal part was good. I will send that to you, Josh.
How can they forward it to you too?
No, I'm just saying like.
Okay. I know that some of you already were able to upload it up to YouTube. Yep.
To YouTube?
Well, unless you can send it to him and he can get it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not technology.
If we have iPhone, you have to upload it to YouTube. You won't receive it.
Unless, what program did you use?
No, she used a different.
Techies.
No YouTube, right?
No YouTube, right?
Where are you sending it to?
Oh, I don't know. I understand.
We understood, like, you're gonna.
They are, it is.
It's fine.
It's only to show everybody.
Save yourself. Save your. I signed down in your yeah. Are you on your wife?
Okay, as we get all of them uploaded, we're going to see some videos from Laredo. Now in Laredo, they couldn't do a video like you all did because it's only them by themselves. So we have a few videos, and y'all can look up here while Juan works his magic on the other videos.
And yes, I noticed you can all my information started going to her.
So let me ask y'all, while we wait, what did y'all think of this, other than the technical problem? What did y'all think of this, how do you think it would enhance the learning of the students? How do you think by doing a video like this would enhance their learning?
It allows them to think quickly.
They're engaged. Were all of you engaged in the process?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Do you think this is more engaging than having a lecture the entire time?
Yes.
Yes, because everybody's collaborating, and that's what people are looking for now, collaborators. They're looking for people that are able to work with each other, help each other out. That's what businesses are looking for now. So those are the skill sets that we need to be teaching our students, how to work with each other, not put each other down, but more lift each other up and help each other along the way. That's what Learning Centers does. It really helps bring the class together. When we talked about one of the lenses was unity. Well, that was the name of the lens, but it was learning climate. That's part of the learning climate, guys, when everybody can work together, have fun learning a new concept. Learning Centers also brings that out. But remember, like I said, one of the main things is that it does take a while to set it up. It's not something you can do like right away. You need to make sure you have everything ready so that the students won't have any downtime. Okay,
Should
are
I
we
hit the
ready?
lights?
What?
Should I hit the lights?
No, I think we're fine. Let's see a couple of videos. Okay, here we go.
You just signed it.
Is there supposed to be sound?
Yeah. Give me a quick second.
I'm sorry?
Give me a quick second.
Oh, okay. Do y'all have any questions right now about Learning Centers? Burning questions? Still confused about something? Nothing? Wow. Y'all are just tired? Are y'all tired?
Yes.
Tired. I won't be confused in 16 minutes.
Are we ready? Gonna get there. In the meantime, what's your next session? Oh, you have dyslexia.
Dyslexia.
You have dyslexia on Friday with Betty. She's awesome.
It's hard to, I mean, for a dyslexic person to be really
What one?
or read.
Can't wait to see your video. So let's go around. Oh. Where? I don't see video. Okay, I see video now.
Close out.
I like the little. What? What happened?
That's what I'm putting.
What? Oh, I see, I see.
Thanks, Randy, for coming out in our video.
Came out in your video?
Yes, you're like. Like this.
I did not. That's never.
Like this. I got like half a chest.
We have, it's in the video.
Yes, it's your shit, Randy.
You're the only one with a gray shirt.
Let me show you one thing. No! I'm waiting for the time to run out already so you go. But I want to see it.
Hey, you should see my superb vacuum now. That was legit. I couldn't get the straight vacuum. Neither could Eric, unfortunately.
And
Are
if
you
you're
logged on here? Are you logged on here?
Can't they log on in here?
That might be me. Maybe. Just no face, it didn't.
If there's no face.
We blurred you out.
I was gonna back too, but
You did it right around
opportunity.
couple minutes.
Whatever. Got a bunch of
Got it,
haters over
one?
here.
Star Trek.
You did not.
Yes.
Okay, while we wait for one, this table, one thing that you learned about learning centers.
This could affect their engagement in the classroom and their academic performance. Learning centers provide new ways for students to learn.
Here it is.
Brings me to my next point. Learning centers provide
Start at the
differentiated.
beginning. Okay, here we go.
Administrators may be wondering, why should we support their use of learning centers in the classroom? To start off, learning centers are far less taxing on classroom resources. Because each center focuses on a different activity and require the use of different materials, resource shortages will be virtually non-existent and will save a lot of time and money while still providing students with materials they need for learning. A second benefit to my use of learning centers is the fact that they break the monotony of classroom instruction. People naturally grow fatigued of doing the same thing every day, and in the student's case, this could affect their engagement in the classroom and their academic performance. Learning centers provide new ways for students to learn, breaking the monotony of daily instruction and refreshing their minds with the different activities that learning centers provide. Which brings me to my next point. Learning centers provide differentiated instruction thanks to the different types and formats of activities provided by each learning center. Different students have different strengths and weaknesses, and this is especially true for students with learning disabilities, such as dyslexia. By providing different ways to perform activities, learning centers ensure that every student has an equal opportunity to learn the material covered to their optimal ability. Learning centers also allow students to socialize and work together. Part of student engagement involves the students having high self-confidence, which can be boosted by allowing them to help each other learn and work together, rather than completely isolating them from one another, which can leave them feeling alone and deprive them of potentially needed help. Lastly, learning centers provide a fun environment for students to learn. If there is one thing I learned from my studies in game design, is that the human brain needs to be stimulated in order to function, which is required for engagement and focus, and nothing is more stimulating than having fun, which can be done through games or simply communicating with a peer. Overall, learning centers provide an engaging way for all students, regardless of age or learning disability, to learn the material covered in class with optimal results to improve their academic performance.
Who's that from? Jesus Olivares. Olivares?
Yes.
Jesus Olivares, thank you very much from Laredo. Excellent video. Do we have another video?
Yes, let me just go ahead.
Excellent video.
Another learning.
Okay, while he sets another one. One thing. Think carefully of what your table's going to say. One benefit or one thing that you learned, one aha moment.
Well, honestly, socialized skills. Yeah, I was gonna hit that.
Socialization skills. This table right here.
Different modalities.
Different modalities. Different approaches. Learning styles.
Ultimate engagement. Mastery.
Ultimate engagement and mastery.
Increases retention.
Increases retention. Oh, it's over there. I'm like, where's that coming from? Do we have something here?
Students take responsibility in their own learning.
Students?
Like they need to be responsible on what the teacher asks them to do in the centers. And that's the way the teacher's gonna know if they actually learn or master the concept.
Very good. When you all started this class, or when you all first heard about learning centers, what was your first idea? What did y'all think right away?
Well, to be honest, I thought it was just for like little kids.
You thought it was for little kids? Kinder, first grade. And now? Do you think everything that you learned has changed your mind?
Second, third grade.
Yeah.
Do you think it has changed your mind? Yes or no? Yes. How many of you are in high school? You got another one? Here we go.
All right. You want 5 reasons why we can have a learning center? I got Michael right here, and I don't want 5 reasons. I want $1 million so I can have my learning center. You hear that, Michael? All right. But if you want 5 reasons, I guess we could give you 5 reasons. What are the 5 reasons?
Oh, it's
collaboration, different learning styles, enrichment, small groups, ensure the mastery of the child of what has been taught. You know, I can ensure the mastery of my bank account with $1 million. I'll tell you that right now. But I will settle for a learning center. What do you think, Michael?
I'll take the money too.
We'll take the money too and the learning center.
I guess they were doing fear and laughter. I think somebody wants to be a robber. Do we have another one once?
Yes.
I'm trying to delete that.
About the administrator say, no.
I'm losing all my followers tonight.
Something out of the night.
We all wait patiently.
Next week.
Okay, here's another one. Here we go.
Hi, Mr. Rodriguez. I would like to discuss implementing learning centers in my middle school reading class. As you know, I'm taking classes at A-Step, and we learned about setting up and using centers in middle school and high school. I'm very excited about the positive impact these centers might have on my students. I hope you will consider and approve my request after hearing my reasons. In my population of students, I have ESL, some ELLs, and special education students, with a few general education mixed in. Centers will allow me to pair or group students with different learning levels, learning styles, and behaviors to work on different activities at their levels. There are some students who need to work independently, and I can plan enough activities for that individual or individuals to keep them learning, while others work together and may take a little longer. The centers will also allow me to walk around and see which students need to be encouraged and or helped, and to keep students on track. Behavior issues can be managed easier by separating the students to keep them engaged and learning throughout the class time. We will model and practice even more the behavior expectations for school and classroom. Finally, I will be allowing the learning to be student-centered, and I will have more data student work to assure the levels of learning and where improvements need to be made more quickly. Thank you for your time and consideration of my request, Mr. Rodriguez. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks.
Who was that? What's her name?
Erin Eichhorst.
I'm sorry?
Erin Eichhorst.
Erin, awesome video. Thank you very much. Do you have another one, Juan?
What's your email? Going.
Oh.
What's the email?
What? My email?
I'm sorry?
Juanr@a-step.org. Gotcha. But it's a-step. It's a-step.
Okay.
Sorry guys.
Here we have another one. We have another one. Yay.
Okay guys, so let's talk a little bit about what happened in Las Vegas. There was a shooting, and apparently it was very unfortunate what happened. There was a lot of people's lives, you know, that didn't get to live and they were hurt. Some people were very highly injured. Saúl. Did you just hear what I said?
Yeah, what page are we on?
There is no page, Saúl. You're not listening. What's going on? Class, why are you not listening? Jessica, get off your phone. What are you doing over here? Why are you drawing?
I don't know. I was just going.
You know what, guys? Let's try something new. We're going to do learning centers. Wait. Oh, no, you're making section.
Okay. Let's see. We're working on this collage to see where we're at. So we have technology here. We also have the bottle of medication. What else? Supplies that we need to put together. Well, I think I like the pens and the notepads that we can use to make it more colorful. Should we be writing? Okay.
So how did the Learning Center help you?
Oh, the learning centers are excellent. Collaborative working where we all work as a team. Everybody's assigned a task, one labels, one cuts, one paste, and everything's hands-on. For example, for me, I'm not a book reader, so that helps me to understand through cutting, through pasting, through other means of knowing the material. So for a learner like me, it works excellent.
So Jessica, what did you learn from the Learning Center?
What I liked was that it helps me remember the things we're doing with everybody in the same group, and that I get to work together with them.
So how did the Learning Center help you?
It helps me to learn.
Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Do we have time for another video one? What did he say? I didn't hear him.
He said yes.
He said no.
We can see another one.
What?
We can see another one.
He said yes. So far, I've seen only 2 from here, right?
Yeah.
Some iPhone issues.
We sent it over.
Compatibility.
It just got sent.
I
feel like Randy's full of excuses today.
Randy, you full of excuses?
That's what happens when you sit in
I
another
don't
group.
see no excuses. I just said it's 2017 and we're having compatibility issues. Oh my God. Come on. Come on. Right? Universal.
Ready? This is going to be our last video. I'm sad that I'm not able to see everybody's video, but hopefully I can see them. I know you all work very hard on your videos. Here we go.
Go. Here you go.
You're all bored. You're all bored. Forget it.
Yeah, he.
Hold on, guys.
I have a meeting. She has a meeting.
No, we don't have.
No.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Guys, I hope you all enjoyed it. Have a wonderful rest of your session.